4 endings for all games so far, because we played 4 games on each map, of course. So if we go back to touch on a little bit of those as well.
Out of South Island, Pseudo aware of the fact that they need to then maneuver their way across into the center of the zone. Being on the south side, not so good. And also you can see similar problems being affected onto the ultimate because it went all the way over to Zaki. Quite frankly, the furthest you could have ever gone into a zone like this, when you even saw the zone was coming in, you're still dropping in towards Zaki. No surprise that they get unwillingly punished.
But to say centers up over Lumberyard, because there's a classical area that tests a lot of skills.
I hope so, Tarzan. It's risky, and you could fall down. But you're not getting bigger in that zone. Oh my god.
You see the side of DDD failing to adapt to this one when they are just holding actually seemingly a comfortable spot, but you have to be wary for it. That setup for this next shift was not good.
Rest for Pseudo, excuse me, and Pseudo, yes, he rightly should now be punished for that. They are the ones with a disadvantage, and another knock goes down. Pseudo would have been first team out, and it just feels so bad for.
The accuracy is high, but it needs to be, you know.
Are going to drop down. Another the only one die will drop. So will potentially Adiz here as he moves further upstairs back towards now the teammate for the blue zone, consuming itself further forward and consuming everyone alongside it. As now Falcon step back outside, but they are the ones with a better draw, the only ones eliminated, and Falcon grabbing rotation. Team have had to go so far, they don't have the vision, they're destroyed, they're deleted 2 straight away, and it's going to be the only one remaining. Going so aggressive on these roads, again making the mistakes. How can you go on the road so late and not expect to be punished as Prestigo now drops alongside SK Ton? Hero's still in the vehicle, but he can't even get across the road, and rightfully so, R8T eliminated.
Right, these are those things, right? Like when you got crashed on by Falcons, you have to fight. But if you fight, then people know you're there. Then your rotation.
Expect it would give you cover, but actually it doesn't, because when you see all of these teams, the way in which they're rotating into this new zone, they cover beach front, and you can see why it's so difficult for them to find this cover itself. And the rest of Triple Devo finally will be dropped. I thought it was going to be a simple one. They tried to go something fancy, but one knock was not enough. Triple D out, and Cryptis grabbing themselves another kill. But now the problem again is how do these later rotation teams yell again, trying the vehicle rotations. I don't think it's going to work. I'm going to repeat myself like a broken record, Tarzan, until teams get it in their head that you cannot be that loud coming into this 5th, 6th phase.
I mean, sometimes you just need to know how much ground you can control, right? You need to know which house you're claiming for, find that one thing that allows you to do that, down to that one player. But this is going to be quite important. Those first things that he has, maybe he can still crawl in, but Twisted Minds are getting pushed from that other side. And this side of T2K actually threaded the needle, overtook quite a few teams from their edge position on that east side.
They found a god spot inside of the beach, and that's what I think is really so key for T2K right now. If they can hold this spot, they're inside the central zone. It's not going to be that hard shift realistically for them compared to other squads. And I actually think that T2K, they've got one of the best chances to really come out well in this game.
Oh, for God's sake. Like, what? This is... Okay, no more Milton.
Have been edging their way inside of the zone. They have been quiet so far. The smoke has also been deployed, but they cannot find a clean trade. It's 1-for-1 against Twisted Minds, and Twisted Minds, they will strike down on Uaz. Back to front shots, and Uaz is gone. Danny, a little bit of an outplay there, is now NSC down to 2 players, down to 1 actually, as the rest of the zone pools down. Danny, it's not a 1v3 though, as Solomon will find some success for his team, but as a solo they will play an Obstacle Warriors, take down the ultimate, take down potentially the entire squad. As you said, this water not deep enough, but Hope barely gets alive.
The ultimate missed an opportunity here. They just need to dedicate to those western entry lines and don't have to rush into a circle. Play a dip if it's OP, trade for a player to do damage. Like, all these things are important. As we see T2K actually slowly burning those utilities, need to ration them out. As you see, some players just need to send into the water. It's not bad. I mean, those are important placement points. We know how much difference it can make from those 1 or 2 points. So therefore, these small things, very, very key.
I'm just gonna say again, Tarzan, Virtus Pro, they could have gone out in 14th position. They are inside the top 6 right now. Essence making so much work happen for him in terms of points, and there's more even drop. Bayer could be next. T2K 4-2 in the fight versus NSC, but Solomon, the cross flank from Oztech Warriors, wipes him down, but the Bayer, they are the ones with the highest kills, 8 already, but there's one player alive. You can see this phase 7 zone is eating at the heels of him as sheer barely crawling himself into the front line.
Wow, Oztech Warriors, we did not expect this team from Military Base making that happen, but right now it's against these teams as third party, however you want to see it. The Aces will try to get into position, and that is a pinch position. But look at here right now, the last player for Bayer won't have any cover to use either.
There's only flat sand. The Bayer will fall, but 10 kills now. Look at Oztech Warriors. This is a game to rise. So this is a statement coming through from Oztech Warriors, albeit Edson watches from the distance. Third place now, at least 10 points guaranteed on top of the kills they have garnered. And Edson is making so much happen for Virtuous Pro fans. And still Cryptics, one player remaining. El Chapo is behind the smoke, but it is going to dissipate shortly. And Oztech Warriors, I think this should be, regardless of the situation, their game to lose.
E1 here, and I mean, it's about how to make use of those two players outside of circle. They need to get angles, they need to know they may not be able to get in, and it's about putting down that pressure, right? And this side, though, like Cryptics are waiting for these huge games, as they can find that one. Lazy Boy, beautiful shot with the DP.
It's down. There goes the front line, and still Laser Boy, of course, rightly so revived. But look at the health bars. They are not clean when it comes to their HP. You can see, of course, the adrenaline is taking effect, but it's not going to be enough. There goes the wipe. Cryptics, a clean 2 shots, 12 kills for them. And, of course, they are very confused right now, Tarzan, because they are not sure inside a very open zone where exactly this final Essen player will be.
Wow. I mean, Oztech Warriors, we've been waiting for this team, right? And seems like this will be the chicken dinner that we want to see. I mean, this organization's been around for so long. They've picked up a good roster that won second place in the most recent PMCO, as they are finally putting some work into this. I mean, I love seeing this as well. And the side of 3TN, beautiful work. Like pure 12 placement points right there.
Yeah, even doesn't give away the kill. That's what I love to see. Gone away, which is Sona's gone, right? That, again, the Cobbery is...
This fight, I shouldn't say problem, the considerations that these teams have is the potential third party. They can just kind of swing around, especially from those west side, but we continue with that fight for sure. Twisted Mind, talk to the FPP, that will Vigor, finding a good one, finding Mammoets in town. Will that be too late? We need to find out.
Already, though, 2 are dead. 1 on Twisted Minds, potentially going down 2, but it's a 3-piece through for Twisted Minds. But on the back end, you can see those vehicles potentially approaching a triple D. They are getting closer in. You can hear the bullets firing down, and Twisted Minds need to make sure they clean up this fight quick. Otherwise, the same will happen to them as happening to a Bayer right now. Mahmood is the only player alive, and Big Oars is on the opposite car right now. You see it, they've not finished up the fight cleanly enough. Yes, he finally finished for a Bayer, but that inside wasn't though in time. The Bayer, yes, they're gone, but you lose Figures off the backside. You're reviving Dani, and now you've got Triple D coming inside the same way you entered on.
I really don't want to be right with this prediction, but it's also too textbook as well. It's too strong from the west side. These dips is what teams look for, and you can clearly know there are such a juicy chance of third party as they come in problem, becoming a huge problem for Twisted Minds.
Is it a real fat dilemma, Tarzan, for the rest of Twisted Minds right now? You can't put your mind around this one. Triple D is going to surely enter down the final kill here. There's no stopping it. That's no window to escape from. And Twisted Minds dead too. Yeah,
it's such a pleasure. Like we talk
Tarzan, you are much more closer to the center of the action. I think at R18 they're going to struggle more so than potentially here Sudor and T2K is, albeit Catan is some bother.
Okay, yeah, that last player right there needs to buy some time, and that's the thing, right? It's just get eyes by Catan maybe, or it could be Rio with the the trigger discipline issue, but that doesn't matter. That's a much need at one point. We talk about how much difference that can make, but we talk about Rico Infinity being that strong team, but knowing how to really finish a fight is important, and they're just a little bit stuck right here, and the only one trying to disrupt the game plan with a lot of just annoyance, really, but Result tried to clutch it up, and that's important hip fire right there.
This was crucial for the only...
Talk about something between 30s. like 30 something is what you can get in a game and a half. Like, and Yala really showed that. Same for Riku Infinity in the second place right now. So this is not a guaranteed win for them for this tournament. They really need to show, and that is the thing. If you're the champion, is how you can hold your balls, is how you can still play at your top. When you're at the top, when you're in that euphoric state, that defines you.
It's risky for Yala right now. Of course, you said they are burning down slowly, and you can see the teams have been picking up points so much in these games, but unfortunately for DRS, none can be said the same. It's another real fall for the purples. It's left to one remaining. Nima runs back inside, but not inside the zone.
Ready, and that will be easy, and trying to, once again, the last one standing for this team.
Nima, though, he does get alive. Not for now, though. I thought.
Yeah, I mean, like, these fights as well found, and, you know, I think this is going to be tricky. Like, it comes down to this shift now, because everyone kind of know where everyone is.
That's why I wanted Demar to stay. I wanted Demar to try to fend this off. Instead, goes in behind the last-ditch attempt, knows that they're there, but he's on his own. You can't defend that as a solo player. And now, finally, they said Bumper. They realized Tarzan a mistake they had potentially made in this situation. There's 7 kills, albeit to the Ultimate, who still have control, but they're gonna need to move further in.
Tricky one for now. Like, I mean, sending that player out, I feel like it's something that can be done, like a phase or two before we talk about some of the spots they can play. Like, you've got a fullback covered, right? As we see a side of Triple D not able to
win this. So what can is you say the Ultimate are moving forward, though they are not giving up in this game just yet. They are making a statement, but no, they cannot find a surprise angle. The shots were too early, and Ragnar can't come into the pinch. The loser last is so low, but he can't find the complete flush through because there is still that threat from Ragnar. The smoke does block it from Never Alone, and that is what makes it so awkward for the rest of this team for Falcons. They finally grab the kill, however, you know, it lasts still on the opposite end. Ragnar cannot push forward, and neither can Hope, but a knock through is beautiful. That was what we needed from them. Return trade, a heal back up so efficient is Never Alone, and bump it down to 2.
Some mistakes coming through here and there, you know. They just need to take out the closest threat first and heal up when you have that window. Respond to the audio cues. There's no rush, and right now it will be the Ultimate. Can they finally get these chicken dinners? They got so many second places yesterday. This is their time. A 3v2 situation right now.
You saw how well they played in Miramar too. This is their bread and butter, and they are buttering Falcons up for 2 more points. Yes, the zone has been
the time to move in, but arguably it's also the sign of Falcons, you know, preferring to play responsive. That's a brilliant one. Will they make use of that? I don't quite know. Seems like answer is still.
They are pushing forward. You can see them try, but a 1-for-1 trade, that's not good enough. You need to continue to find a push, and it's down to a 1v1, but health advantage is over to Bumper. Ragnar is trying his best. He sprays early. He's not got as many bullets in his clip now. Did not go for the revive, and he's switched places. Bumper on the side of Ragnar as he confirm an extra kill down. Bumper uses a bit more of the bullets. Reloads back. Ragnar still chasing this. Still not found a kill. Bumper trying again to go round, ring around the roses. But who will strike first? They have not seen each other. Now they spot each other's position. Another rotation round. This shack will be all it potentially takes. Ragnar looking behind him. No, will finally confirm the extra one. They give away the vision. That was the extra information it really Bumper needed. Ragnar still on the opposite side, though. They have not seen each other. They are not willing to give the position away, but Ragnar trying something special. He's trying to go around the backside, try to flank away. Bumper comes on the opposite end, and he spies a few shots into him. But now the vehicle is protecting Ragnar enough, but not quite. Falcons finally, the fight ends, and they take the chicken dinner. But it was not clean, Tarzan. I think getting a little bit too hasty, and now they lose one of their players to a 3v4 situation. You can see Yala also doing the same, coming up and nade on the back, and I think that is playing so much time, but where's support from Yala made? Where are the comrades to join in the fight? And he's getting 1v2 from the back. It is now going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Finally, as Black-White will be punished from alongside. Bandar wraps round. Bronsberg getting lit up too. That's a beautiful shot through the window. Is now we're down only to Bandita. And again, I might have cast a curse this time around, Tarzan, because he is the only one alive and he'll be dead, joining them alongside the death pit. Noodle actually twisted fates too, joining in the fight versus Yellow. And it's a 3-way contest, but Yusuf is already down, and so is Bandar as well. They fight finally enough, barely take down Catan. There's his final bullet in, but he needs to turn around quickly. Twisted Minds still coming in. It's his third parties all day so far that have been at the upsets.
I've been waiting for this for so long. I mean, these two teams drop against each other in boot camp so many times in the PMPL, and right now Twisted Minds say, you know what, we missed this, right? Come have a little bit of pain.
Still, Twisted Minds, they are being slow about this, but decisive as Powerful will fall. I believe that was a nade through from his teammate, if I was not mistaken, on the kill feed. And now Bandar stepping in behind on the opposite angle as Dami gets first down. The surprise shock Dami did not expect it to be there, but his teammates follow through.
Centering up, still keeping bits of the two islands in play.
Found him, he can't even find one. Lace gonna drop, and I think they... Is it another disappointment coming through from them? But down to, yes, Madcap and a reef. Madcap's going to be the next to join him, though, inside the afterlife is Nima. They drive by the orange.
I'm fine if we have another boot camp finish, not quite.
And towards boot camp, up into the hills of Paradise Resort. It's saved
against the side of Rico Infinity.
They can't stop Cryptics, but definitely, of course, as you say, have to take at least one fight instead of the other. And RAT... They are positioning, I like this on both sides though, because they know that yes, they have to fight Falcons, but there could be that third party that equally comes in for the strength of these series of buildings inside Phase 4, and especially considering this zone is about to shift next to Phase 5, you're respecting that the rush could come through at this moment. Falcons, though they are continuing with this, relieves the pressure to move further forward, and they have found Prostiga, he broke through the front line, and one will only fall, is never alone, steps into the next side of the building, but then look it through to the rest of our 8 team and try to find those flanks. Beautiful jump shots, will it be enough? Yes, it will be. Never Alone drops down next. And Falcons, they looked like they might have had everything, but not quite yet. As last in a pod inside his own house, will find at least one back as over the nade through the window from behind. Will strike him back in return, though. It's now another 1-for-1 trade down to 2 members of our 8 team making the revives. Shots come through, but it's not quite enough. They shot too early, they gave themselves away, but no, they cannot find a second. Barely, it's a 1v1, but who's gonna take it? It's RAT for Falcons.
In all these 3 games.
I think at Rico Infinity's team, yes, they look so aggressive, but again, they couldn't hold that position, and now Falcons, they open up the door for them to potentially take another big game, who need this rise in the leaderboard. NSE, who look to be rising, knocked out next inside of his third match, but as you move towards those other power positions, the other buildings still in play. Bomber does on the edge barely look like he is holding on into the zone, but I don't think it looks pretty as Falcon's still healing up inside of that Phase 5, Phase 6 shift. I do believe it went around the opposite way, and that's going to be a wipe actually from the opposite end. It's the ultimate quick pan, but they get dropped through.
Wow, like brilliant control on that eastern segment for both of the Nepalian teams, and it's enough time for them to move in. I think they had sight lines, they have the numbers, they've got momentum, they've got kills, and T2K can be on their way up even more. So Cryptics and Suda finding it so harsh right now, you know, like these angles, it's about the landscape after all, you know, slowly coming in from that side. There's just no real options right there as Jane down to those 1 first 8 and have got 50 meters to
King second place on that leaderboard, but who will join him further up? Twisted Minds calls DRS. It's down to these 2 squads. Twisted Minds, a plethora of kills, but even more so for the Real Soldiers who have 8.
Well, need to wait for this next circle. I think this is also just going back to the basics, right? You manage your backpack, use a little bit of utilities, and then make sure that you spread out, have a game plan. Seems like both teams wouldn't struggle too much. It will be a landscape game as we see a little bit of those low ground for Twisted Mind to really reset, maybe slowly core their way through, but these nades are slowly raining in, and Mafia Ninja is trying for another one.
DRS, they do move further forward, but look at the zone. It's gotten to neither of these teams. Tarzan is down to whoever moving forward into the zone first, but it's Twisted Minds. Kaito, who gets dropped. That could be disastrous for them. Even more utilities being chucked down as Cryptics fall in the back front. And now we're down to our final 2. Twisted Minds, they look for revive. Another chunk from the grenade onto Destiny and Kaito. Vigor, where's utility back? There it finally lands, but is not landing into any confirmations. Kato's gonna burn down. There he goes. Nima confirms it, and DRS They are the ones with the advantage, and 13 kills might be as far as we come. As
Finally.
Vigor on the up then, he's trying to heal.
Oh,
He gets caught
no.
out for a worse position by the real soldiers, but it's not quite coming through. We lost one on the back, we lost one on the front. The real soldiers there. Final first game win, Tarzan. This is what we were looking for from the South Asian representative.